Let's make some bread pudding today. Just plain old bread pudding. I put the cream, light cream, or half and half, or milk, the eggs and the sugar and the vanilla in here. And run this so you dissolve the sugar. Well, if you don't dissolve the sugar, sometimes it goes to the bottom of the bread pudding. So just to make sure, I just run this for about a minute or two. Now you can mix the eggs in a blender, the Cuisinart, whatever you have. And then we're going to soak our delicious and the best bread for making this, challah bread. It just comes out better. And for French toast also. Now you just take the bread which you've cut up and put it into the mixture. And just let it soak to absorb all that delicious flavoring that's in there. And try and use a pure vanilla extract or a vanilla bean and just scrape the inside out and put it into this. But it's important not to use the imitation because it just doesn't have the flavor. So get a good pure vanilla extract and you can taste the difference. Now we're going to let this soak for about, I'll let you know how long. Well, it's been soaking 15 minutes and I'm going to add, because I like bananas, 1/3 of a cup of small diced pieces of banana. And then we're going to put it into the dish or the ramekin that we're going to cook it in, and let it just soak for another 15 minutes. Just so it absorbs as much of the mix as possible. See, there's not much running, which is good. It's the right amount of mix of eggs and cream, and this time I used half and half. You can use light cream if you want to be very decadent. Just use some heavy cream, but that's a little bit too heavy to taste. And if you want to go lighter, just use some milk. Now you would melt butter and coat the inside of, this looks like a souffle dish. And another one we're not going to put the paper because it'll be eaten right out of the dish. This one, we're going to turn it out. So you also butter the inside. You use this parchment paper or baking sheets. So that buttered the inside. Now I'm buttering this, because this one we want to turn out later and put it on a plate, where the other one we're just going to eat out of the dish. And you could do the same thing if you're going to use a Pyrex type long, narrow dish, or even a pie dish. Now on top of one, I'm just going to sprinkle a little brown sugar, because this one's not going to be served with a sauce, just like that. And the other one, I'm just going to sprinkle a little cinnamon on top for flavor. And that's going to be served with a whiskey sauce, which will be another recipe. Now as far as the baking of this, you always want to use a water bath, because you don't want the edges to burn, the bottom to burn. You're just looking for some nice color on top. So we're going to place this in a 325 convection oven or a 350 non-convection oven for about 45 minutes. We'll check the time. We'll also check it with a toothpick. You stick the toothpick in and you pull it out. If it comes out dry, the item is done. Well, it's been 45 minutes and there's the finished bread pudding. Now we'll see about turning them out, leaving that one in, the one on the right, in its cup and serving it from the cup, and the other one taking it out, putting it on a plate. Well, it's still very hot, but let's see how we're going to do with the parchment paper. That's, first step is unmolding it. The second is to remove the paper and then turn it over, because we want this to be the top. And there you have a nice or large portion of bread pudding. Now there are many different toppings you could put on this, many different recipes, but I think what's important is the bread, the liquid, and the eggs to come out with a nice texture. Not too hard. I've never made it with banana before. It tastes good. Whatever fruit you want. You can fold in orange sections, peaches, blueberries, anything you like.